I'm here to give my support to my dear uncle and my respected Bumai sir. I'm here to render my support. Yes, of course, I agree upon our leadership, Mr. Modi. I totally respect certain decisions that he's taken, and as an Indian, I totally respect that, sir.
The Karnataka election will be decided by 6.5 crore Kannadigas brother and sisters, not by film actors.
A day after the Kannada superstar Kiccha Sudeep announced his support for his uncle, Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai, in the upcoming Karnataka elections, he is now finding himself in the middle of a political fight where the actor is now on the opposition's target. First, a Shivamogga-based lawyer has written to the state poll body seeking a ban on the relay of Kiccha Sudeep's movies till the elections are over on May 10th. And the results, of course, on May 13th. The lawyer KP Sripal wrote the letter hours after the Kannada superstar pledged his support for the Chief Minister. Citing the Model Code of Conduct, the Shivamogga lawyer said Sudeep's movies shows will directly have an impact on the minds of voters. Then hours later, the JDS, that the Janata Dal Secular, too has written to the Election Commission seeking a ban on Kiccha Sudeep's movies, shows and commercials, claiming once again that they might influence voters. Meanwhile, Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee Chief DK Shivkumar has downplayed his influence on people, stating that film stars come and go. As we have mentioned earlier, the superstar has a huge following in central Karnataka, especially among the scheduled tribes, as he belongs to the ST Naika community. And in October last year, on the eve of Valmiki Jayanti, the BJP government had announced its decision to increase reservation for this constituency. The actor was seen recently in the action thriller film Vikrant Rona, which was the third highest grossing Kannada film at the time of its release. Apart from this, talks of Sudeep's next film are also doing the rounds, but no official date has been announced. So why this furore over Kiccha Sudeep at all in poll-bound state? Let me bring in my guest. Dr. Samir Kagalkar is spokesperson of Karnataka BJP, Aishwarya Mahadev representing the Congress. Syed Abbas is political analyst. We also have Chetan Ahimsa, actor. Aishwarya, Kiccha Sudeep has a right to choose which party he thinks he should campaign for or vote for, just like any other citizen. Why should it lead to these letters calling for a ban on his movies?
Good evening, Maria. I think first and foremost, the Congress party has been very clear that if you are an actor with a sense of social responsibility and you choose to work and ally with, say, the political party that you're talking about, where you are not even direct about your allegiance, rather you're talking about the Chief Minister being your mama and helping him, so be it, well and good for you. We wish you all the very best. This idea of a ban, or the idea that his movie posters are something that is going to violate the Model Code of Conduct, was highlighted by the JDS. We believe today very firmly that yes, actors have a lot of relevance, which is why the sense of responsibility is more, Maria. But actors also in this case, especially with the way that things are going in Karnataka, Kiccha Sudeep unfortunately is not going to be able to save the sinking ship that is the BJP. Actors will come and go. Yes, true actors, I know there are a few that we can talk about that really stood for the issues. I'm sure he does too. But the fact is, we don't believe he can save the BJP in any way. We have no furor about it. The BJP would like to make it bigger than what it is, but we are absolutely fine with it. We think if it's a code of conduct violation, then the election commission...
No, but how exactly is this code of conduct violation?
So basically, according to the complaint that is filed, we believe that under section 123 of the Representations of People's Act, it is a corrupt practice, because if you look at it, Maria, as of today, 48 hours before
question, which is a pseudoscience. So he is not ideologically he has no ideological framework, but he does have some support among the Nayakas, and the BJP has done good work in terms of reservation, and that must be accepted.
All right. Thank you so much for summing that up. Chetan Ahimsa, Syed Abbas, Aishwarya. And Dr. Sameer, thank you so much. Shifting focus to our second story. The state of Tamil Nadu is facing another verbal war between the governor and the chief minister, and this time it's over two issues: bills and foreign funding and Sterlite protests. First on the bills, Ravi made the controversial comments during his interaction with civil services series at Raj Bhavan yesterday. On the tussle with the state government on assembly bills, on the government bills forwarded to him for his approval, he explained his role. He said that withholding is a decent language used for the bill getting rejected. Quote unquote, bill is dead. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin slammed Governor Ravi over the latter's remark about the withholding of the bills. He said it was unbecoming of a person who holds a constitutional position to withhold without boldly accepting or opposing the bills. The Chief Minister also claimed that the governor had made a habit of delaying bills, ordinance and amendments conceived by the people's representatives and sent to him for approval. Second remark that has created a stir was on Sterlite protests. The governor also alleged foreign funding behind the 2018 anti-Sterlite protests in Thudukudi and Kundakulam nuclear plant. Remember, on May 22nd and 23rd in 2018, the people of Thudukudi had in fact staged a protest against Sterlite copper smelter plant as it was causing air, water and soil pollution. During the protest, the police opened fire on the protesters, which had led to the death of 13 people. On the remark regarding Sterlite protests and its foreign funding, the Chief Minister M.K. Stalin in fact accused Governor Ravi of confusing the people of the state by talking about controversial political and social views on public platform, and also projecting views contrary to the truth to cause controversy.
Today, the foreign elements are not in a position to take on India directly. So our vulnerability is within. Create issues, create disharmony, create a situation which just stops the progress. Now we said no, we need to be strict about it. We must be. It is not as strict even today, my view is, as it should be, but it's in the process. Criticism will be there, that's okay. People have freedom, constitutional right to protest and say something, that is perfectly all right. Government has to do its job.
I don't know, when somebody keeps something pending, will it mean rejecting it? Does he know English? When somebody keeps something pending, will it mean rejecting it? Does he know English?
So, Governor Ravi, while addressing civil service aspirants, when he was asked this question about FCRA, which is the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, which was brought out by the centre recently, he stressed on need to monitor foreign funds, and in that context he had spoken about Sterlite plant protests which happened in 2018, which were funded by foreign countries, by countries outside India, because they wanted to intervene in India's affairs. We'll try and connect with guests in just a bit. Let's listen into some reactions that have come in.
Governors are nothing but appointees who are rubber stamp and are supposed to abide to the will of the people. This governor, by not passing bills passed by the elected legislature, he is insulting the voices of 8 crore people who have elected this DMK government with a thumping majority. I do not know why this governor is stopping an elected government from functioning. But does this happen only in Tamil Nadu? No. This happens in all the states where non-BJP parties are in power. Only if the states, individual states will go, the country can progress. I hope the governors understand that and allow the states to progress, at least for the sake of the country.
We have been saying right from the day one that some anti-social elements and anti-national elements were involved. Even the AIDMK had been saying that. Even today they are saying that. Our question is why the DMK is getting so much of anxiety and they are getting. I don't understand why they should get so tensed about this Mr. Ravi's speech. But the DMK has to answer this also. When they were ruling, why did they arrest people in Kudangulam under NSA? National Security Act. What prompted them to arrest people who were protesting in Kudangulam? If somebody does that, they are tensed and they get provoked. So I think DMK is unnecessarily creating this issue.
It is quite funny that the governor claims that he is the protector of constitution, which means he should abide by the constitution. If he wants to protect the constitution, he should abide by the constitution. I don't know, when somebody keeps something pending, will it mean rejecting it? Doesn't he know English? I don't know how he passed IPS. It's quite, I can't understand. There is a role of the governor. I think he is acting as a broker for Vedanta. I can accuse him, because he is talking about Vedanta.
Let me bring him Salim Dharani Dharan. He is DMK spokesperson. Mr. Dharani Dharan, one may say that yes, you have all reasons to criticize the governor when it comes to holding on to the bills. But what he said in the context of Sterlite protest is something which has been said also by former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh when he said the same for Kundakulam protests. So he was only stating facts.
No. I think you have to look, you can't look at it as an isolated incident. You have to see how this governor has been behaving for the last 2 years. He has been behaving as a BJP spokesperson. In fact, January 10th, he went to an event and said IAS officers should listen to the center when there is a conflict between state and the central government. And then, he created this Tamil Nadu versus Tamilagam controversy. See, the whole thing is, the Sterlite protest is very emotionally close to Tamil people. And he has heard the Tamil sentiments. Let's go and look at the company's profile, company which runs which runs Sterlite, right? They have had problems in Zambia. They had faced protests in Zambia and they've gone to the court in London. Same thing in South Africa. Recently, as 2021, they were kicked out. And again, in Orissa, protesters went and approached the Supreme Court, again the same company violating the environmental norms. See, we protested against Sterlite only because they violated the environmental norms, and this violation of the norm was suspected to create health hazards for the occupants of Tuticorin. See, that is the problem. And second point is this governor's gubernatorial procrastination with bills is not acceptable. Legislature represents the will of the people, right? He has only two options. Either he has to pass the bill, right? Or he has to request us for clarification. But if the Council of Ministers will say that we don't want to assent to the clarification, then he will have to immediately sign the bill. But he has been sitting on the bills. How is it possible, right? Legislation merely represents the will of the people. So by not signing the bills, he is disrespecting the 8 crore people of Tamil Nadu. This is happening only in Tamil Nadu? No. It's happening in all non-BJP ruled states. For example, Kerala. In the Kerala, governor has publicly not accepted the Kerala University bill. Similarly, the Lok Ayuta Amendment bill. We have seen what's happening in Telangana. We have seen what's happening in West Bengal. As recent as the Perarivalan versus Union Government of India judgment by Justice Nahesh Rao, he has made it very clear that governors are nothing but shorthand expression of the State Council of Ministers.
Yes.
right?
Okay.
Why is the governor
So,
time and
Mr.
again
Muralidharan,
behaving like an elected
for the
representative?
government, for the governor to make such points, such as, that, and the government is right in saying that why withhold a bill? If you want to reject a bill or accept a bill, take a decision. And the governor here says it is a decent language used instead of the word reject. When you say withhold, the bill is dead. I mean, from where has he come up with this language?
I think Maria, we need to understand how these bills are passed, first of all.
Yes.
I mean, there are various types of bills, like you have moneyed bills, you have, your normal bills, non-moneyed bills, etc. So each bill has a process through which it gets passed. Some of them go through the, both the houses, then it reaches the president. Some of them goes through only one house and reaches the president. Now, president has two or three types of ways of looking at it. One is he can junk it, one sort of bill, which becomes as good as dead. Okay, if he doesn't react at all.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Muralidharan, mera sawal aapse is different. My question is very different.
Exactly.
I'm saying here is the governor who is neither giving his approval nor rejecting it. And then he's coming up with sentences such as consider the bill to be dead. I mean, what exactly does it mean?
Yeah, that's what you need to understand. See, some bills may not be even, considered. I mean, you need not give a reply at all. All you have to derive is it's not being passed. It's there in the norm. So it's like that. If it's a bill which is of utmost importance, he'll say it's rejected. Some bills he would have forwarded.
So then in that case, it's all right for a governor to sit over a bill for months without rejecting or giving his approval.
Can I add on?
It is as good as rejected.
Okay, it's as good as rejected. Okay, Tathagat Roy is the former governor of Tripura and Meghalaya. He would be able to put this in context better. Tathagat Roy,
yes.
Here is the governor who is constantly at loggerheads with the state government. And now he has made this statement regarding bills. How do you look at it? That, if withholding a bill is almost like a decent way of saying that it's not rejected. It is rejected.
See, so far as my knowledge and my experience goes, a governor can withhold a bill, of course.
For how long?
He can assent to a bill and he can refuse to assent to a bill expressly. Withholding a bill is equivalent to refusing to assent a bill, but not expressly, but impliedly. But there is a third method.
Can I add on, please?
One moment, let him finish his point. Yeah, go ahead.
He can refer it to the president. And it had happened to me with a bill that the Meghalaya Assembly had passed unanimously. But I perceived, according to my thinking, that this bill was not in the realm of the state's powers, but the chief minister deferred, so I referred it to the president. So these alternatives are open.
Okay. See, Rajashekharan? Has the governor only complicated the relationship between him and the, ruling DMK?
The governor has to
No, relation may be complicated. What of that? The governor is not worried about that. The governor has to apply his own mind and use his own conscience. He has also to check, particularly to check whether the bill is...
Ma'am, can I add on quickly? I just have to watch one point here.
7. Sorry?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I can go ahead. See, how the constitution is met. We have...
No, let Governor Tathagat Roy speak, please.
Okay, fine.
See, the governor has also got to satisfy himself that this is if this bill comes within the purview of the state list in Schedule 7 of the Constitution. If it does not, that means, according to his perception, that means that the bill is, the state just does not have the jurisdiction to pass that bill. And in that case, he can either say so or he can send it to the president. In my case, I had first said that this is not within the state jurisdiction under the Schedule 7. Then the chief minister deferred. Then I said, then I'm referring it to the president.
Okay. Mr. Rajashekharan?
See, the governor has to work for the welfare of the people of the state. He is not an alien. The constitutional authority, the head of the state, must be responsible. See, when the state assembly passes a bill, sent to for his assent, he should definitely consider on merits. But in this case, the governor is crossing the Lakshman Rekha. He is making comments in the public domain and saying that I had to. He's talking like a politician, which is unwarranted, and he has to refrain from these kind of political speeches in public domain in the interest of his own position, because governor is a responsible person. He is answerable not only to the constitution but also to the state and the country at large. The president is the boss, yes, we do agree, but he has his own limitations. But he is crossing the limits. He is crossing all the lines of Lakshman Rekha of public speaking and politics. So he is almost a politician. He is not a governor. So he has to be very careful, especially in this case of Mr. Tamil Nadu government, Mr. Governor, Mr. R. Ravi.
But you know,
See, I am not aware of what happened in Tamil Nadu. But whether a person is crossing the Lakshman Rekha or not, the governor is crossing the Lakshman Rekha or not, and whether he is making a statement which is political or not, it is he only who has to decide it. There is no external agency who can decide it. So
Okay,
that
fine.
is that. He has to satisfy his own conscience.
But
that is
the
right.
larger
But he
question
cannot-
of
Can I add on quickly? He
why
cannot-
should a
he
governor
cannot
be
go
at
against the
constant
state.
loggerheads with the chief minister of the state?
Because if the
No, he
chief
cannot
minister
go against the
acts
state.
according to the governor, if chief minister acts in excess of his jurisdiction,
No, but how is this
then
excess
they
of jurisdiction?
might,
If
be at
anything,
loggerheads.
the governor is
What
not giving
stops you?
clarity over legislations here, sir.
Who?
The governor should be giving clarity over bills rather than sitting over the bills.
No, you don't understand my point.
No,
my
I'm understanding your point.
that the governor, the bill is being sent to the governor for his assent.
No,
That
but this
is
discretion,
not a idle formality.
always comes with a certain caveat that if it is
Listen
sent back
to me.
again, then
You
the governor has
please
to
let
reject
me
it.
finish.
Yes,
You
please.
let me finish.
Go ahead, Mr. Roy. Yes.
When the bill goes for assent to the governor, it is not something which is an idle formality. The governor has to exercise his discretion. In my case, I had exercised my discretion and I found that under the 7th schedule in Meghalaya, that bill which was unanimously passed by the State Assembly was beyond their jurisdiction. It is not on the state list. It is on a union list. So they could not have passed that thing. Now, if that sort of thing happens, but the chief minister insists that they have passed it, now I must assent to it. That is what amounts to one
Okay,
does become
let's
at
start
loggerheads.
wrapping this debate and go to Salim Dharanidharan. Mr. Dharanidharan, while the government has his, the governor has his point of view, he says that there is a discretion of the governor. In some cases, suppose he does not give assent to a bill in a concurrent list. If the state assembly has passed such a bill, the governor cannot give assent to that. So the question is, the governor here is going through, perhaps because he is the custodian of the constitution, he is acting as per the constitution. Why should motives be attached to each and every action of his?
No, I think that's not right. In fact, bill as basic as giving preference to SC/ST entrepreneurs by amending Tamil Nadu Tenders Act 1996 has been put on hold. Admitting handicapped people in Tanjavur University, which has prohibited the same, even that amendment has been put on hold. Having said that, we have to go to the constitutional debate wherein Ambedkar made it very clear that governors do not have any power at all, right? In India...
No, but Mr. Dharanidharan, we have increasingly seen that governors' the governors have started asserting themselves. They are redefining the role of the Raj Bhavan. What is wrong in that?
No, but I'm saying in India, we have Westminster system. The governors are equivalent to the crown. Have you ever seen the crown in Britain ever vetoing any bill passed by the parliament? No. See, the job of the governors is not to see if a bill is good or bad. People elect a legislature.
The problem is that argument is flawed. The argument is flawed. You are constantly saying the governor is failing in his administrative duties. He is evading responsibilities. Then, because he is You are saying all that. Here is the governor who is saying that I am going through all the facts of it. And as a governor, I have the right to
go
be the
look at
custodian.
See, you look into the Supreme Court verdict. It has made it very clear governors are nothing but shorthand expression of the State Council of Ministers.
Okay.
Let's go to the
I'm sure
constitutional
Tathagat
debate.
Roy would object to it.
Right?
Tathagat Roy?
No, I'm exactly telling you that governors do not have the authority to debate on a bill. They're supposed to pass it. If they have a clarification, they can send it back. But if the Tamil Nadu Assembly says we don't want to change, make any changes,
Roy,
they will have to sign.
Yes, okay, Tathagat
Governor
Roy.
wants to make laws, he has to win elections.
A wrong
And let him become an
conception.
MLA and make
That
laws.
is, it arises. Let me have a word. It arises from the wrong idea, incorrect idea that sending a bill to a governor is an idle formality. The governor has to sign it. It's nothing of that sort. The governor is not equivalent to an English king. The governor is an appointed
No,
person
sir, I think you'll have to read the
person
constitution
appointed
properly.
to act as the custodian of the constitution.
He's a former governor. I think he
has
should be
to check
given that
every
respect.
aspect of the bill before giving his assent. And if his
Can I quickly
conscience
report?
tells him that this is beyond the jurisdiction, as had happened in my case while I was a governor of Meghalaya, if he finds that this is a case where the state does not have jurisdiction at all, under the 7th schedule of the Constitution, he can very well refuse it, or he can send it to the president. That's what I did.
All right. Thank you so much. Tathagat Roy.
Maria, can I just add on quickly?
We have really come to the end of this discussion. C. Chandrasekharan, Rajashekharan and S. Muralidharan, thank you so much. To our third story, and this is perhaps some concern that all of you may be having. The threat of coronavirus is back in India. Cases are increasing at a rapid rate in India, with more than 6,000 cases reported in the last 14 hours, the highest in over 200 days. So the questions that you would have on your mind, is it now the time for a mask mandate? How concerned should we be? Can antibiotics really speed up the recovery? And how much harm will this new virus cause? Is it time for a precautionary vaccine? We will address all these questions with Dr. N.K. Arora, Chief of National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization. He's joining us live. Dr. Arora, really appreciate your time. India's daily COVID cases has crossed the 6,000 number, and there is an indication of the positivity rate also going up. How concerned should we be?
So thank you, Maria, for inviting me. The important point is that there is a gradual increase from the last week of January, where it had reached almost its nadir, about 150 or even less than 150 cases a day. And now it is 6,000. And here I would like to share that there is a particular subtype of Omicron, XBB, and even XBB has several sublineages. It is not just the one which everybody is talking about, XBB 1.16 or 1.16 or 0.1. It is starting from 1 onwards. And in fact, we had seen some of the first XBB subvariants from January last week. And gradually it is increasing. And now it's almost 80 to 90% are various XBB variants. XBB 1.1.6 is about 60% or 2/3 of it. Now, it appears that this virus is able to cause breakthrough infection, whether somebody is immunized with primary vaccine or even if the person has received precaution dose as well. Because when we looked at the cases, the proportion of precaution versus primary vaccine doses were similar. But the important point of comfort is that the infection is very mild, like a common cold, and hospitalization is not increased.
But Dr. Arora, unlike common cold, it's prolonged fever, and also the symptoms are lasting far too long. It is also accompanied by severe body ache. How concerned should one be when you get that kind of symptoms, which is like lasting for weeks? And what about the antibiotics? What is the treatment for this one?
So I think that's a very important question you're asking. One is that there is now, with all the 3 years of experience at the back, there is no rationale for taking any antibiotics, number one. I think initial 2 to 3 days or 4 days, till the time one is having fever, paracetamol is the best one and the safest. And the third one is that one should have plenty of fluids, eat plenty of food, and restrict yourself, take rest for a week or so. You are talking about body aches and coughing for quite some time. I think this is part of the symptoms. It was happening before also. Now, because I think we have forgotten, this is like mild, it's a mild COVID infection. Okay. And it takes 5 to 7 days to resolve.
Okay, Dr. Arora, since you're saying that this is a breakthrough infection, would there be a need for another precautionary dose for Indians then?
So at the moment, we don't find any rationale. There have been some discussion because what is the main concern? COVID is very much with us, and these kind of ups and downs will keep on happening. The question is whether, what do we want? Does the vaccine prevent infection, or the booster doses, do the booster doses prevent infection? The answer is no. Across the world, people have taken 3 or 4 boosters and it has not helped. Okay. The important thing is whether there is a need for additional protection to prevent severe disease. We are not seeing severe disease at the moment. However, having said this, I will request everybody, those who are above 60 years and they have not taken their precaution dose so far, or those who are having comorbidities, particularly with immunosuppression, chronic liver disease, heart disease, kidney disorders, or severe diabetes, they should take precaution dose, which is meant for that. If they have taken already, don't worry about that. But if they have not taken, they should go in and have a precaution.
Do we know about the origin of this infectious mutant? Is it homegrown here in India, or has it traveled from some other country to India?
It's very difficult whether it has come from, I was expecting this question now, honestly speaking. It is very difficult to say because there is so much travel going on across the world. And but at the moment, the way in INSECOG sequencing data we see that XBB is the dominant one. XBB has been there for a long time. Now there are subvariants. It is not a particular variant which is only causing. It is and it is mutating very, very frequently. And this is a biological phenomena we have to understand. And I think many of us have said repeatedly, COVID is here to stay, just like influenza, and such kind of troughs and rises will occur. And we have to be careful. And that's why you must have heard that there is going to be a nationwide mock drill of hospitals, laboratories, and all facilities, so that we are prepared for any eventuality. But I would like to assure that there is nothing to panic.
On that note, that there is nothing to panic, we certainly hope that those people who have got COVID, they recover soon. Dr. N.K. Arora, thank you so much for your time. And we are putting out that interview on news18.com and also on our YouTube channel. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.
Is sleeping on it to protect whose interest? Let us also not forget that this is the same gentleman who had met the representatives of the online rummy companies. That he set a good example for all those IAS and IPS officers. Who's going to be benefited if the online rummy bill is not come into force? It is those companies, and he's meeting those people, and he's keeping those bills for 4 months. This is the example the IAS and IPS officers want to follow.
Thank you very much for joining us and sharing your opinion. Continuing with that DMK and the governor standoff, and we have some more breaking news coming in. Now the governor made a remark. That same speech Governor Ravi had delivered at the Raj Bhavan recently. He made a remark saying withholding means bill is dead, which is decent language for rejected. He was speaking about the language used when you withhold a bill. That's something that he had said, and the CM has slammed this remark. The Stalin CM MK Stalin's tweet on Governor Bill is dead remark. He says, I strongly condemn Tamil Nadu Governor Ravi's act against his oath of office and against state welfare. Governor's remarks today are not good for his position. He said among students that if a bill is passed in the assembly that is withheld by the governor, it means it's dead. Withhold means rejection in decent language. It is against the constitution to reveal administrative decisions in a public forum. This is what the Tamil Nadu CM MK Stalin had tweeted. Going across to my colleague Purnima Murli. Purnima, can you tell us, did the governor specify this was against that online gambling bill, which is that current tussle between the state government and the governor, or was he just explaining the language used regarding bills and how bills work in general?
Well, in fact, this was a question and answer session followed by governor's speech, and one of the questions asked was about the language, and to that the governor had responded that it is a decent language to say that instead of saying that it's been rejected, it says that withholding is a better usage, and that if the governor withholds the nod for a bill, it means the bill is dead, which also is politically significant because, the DMK has sent a delegation to submit a memorandum to the president seeking the governor's withdrawal, citing that many bills, including the bill on meat, have all been pending before the governor, and the governor has not really taken action on the bills that have been passed by the Tamil Nadu government, which have impacted people, including the online bill, including the bill on meat. All these bills were pending before the governor, but the governor, in fact, said that he is yet to make a decision, and all these are politically significant, which is why governor's statement has not gone down well with the DMK, because DMK time and again says that there are many bills that have been sent to the governor that are sitting before the governor, and the governor has not yet decided. And at the time, the governor makes it clear that it's as well as saying that the bill has been rejected, and that's a decent language. That's the word that's coming in from the governor, which is why Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and other DMK stalwarts have condemned the governor's statement on this as well.
Purnima, stay with us. We're joined by Mr. K. Saravanan of the DMK on the broadcast. Very good morning to you, sir. So the governor was asked about the language. Basically, someone has asked him, what does it mean when you withhold a bill? He just explained that. That's available in civic textbooks also. Why should we say that he's revealing administrative decisions?
The governor is totally unaware of the legal procedures. We wonder who made him the governor. It's like any elementary, even a first-year law student will know that the governor cannot withhold a bill forever, and he does not have the power to say no to a bill sent by the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly. That is what he said. The problem is, this governor has been sent by the Prime Minister and the Home Minister to destabilize the Tamil Nadu government. They are totally, both of them are jealous of the political goodwill created by our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, the Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister. They are scared that he's trying to form a coalition to sink the BJP. The BJP will be sunk by us. So that is the reason why they want to stall all the administrative capabilities of the state government. That is why the governor is acting in this way.
Sir, just tomorrow, the PM will be inaugurating the Chennai airport. It looks like the war of words against the governor is now escalating, and now you're making statements against the centre as well. Yeah,
it's like when the central, when he is acting, not per the constitution, but as per the diktats of the RSS and the BJP, definitely the central government should take responsibility. I am asking, in which BJP rule states that governors act like this? Act like a novice, speak like a novice, without knowing the legal provisions. I pity the aspirants, the IAS and IPS aspirants who went there listening to his advice. Probably I should request them not to listen to what he is speaking, because this man does not know the law.
Sir, but he had said, he had made the same point that you had made, that the governor can return a bill, but if that assembly passes it again, he has no option but to pass it. That's what he had said, that he has to assent to the bill if the assembly passes it for the second time.
This is a big announcement for us right here on CNN News 18. A historic feat for our channel, a historic week for our channel, as 50 weeks of news dominance.
It's not just on linear television that CNN News 18 is number one. We are number one today on YouTube, number one on Facebook, and number one on the BARC TRP ratings for linear television. The team that is bringing this together is a very, very young team. I think it's the fruit of the effort that we have put in. The way different people in this young team stepped up when the challenge presented itself or when the opportunity presented itself, I think that was incredible. We want to thank all our viewers because I don't think we could have achieved this without your support, your love, and your commitment to the kind of journalism, the kind of news stories that we put out there.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsuman. Ladies and gentlemen, we start with down south, the state of Tamil Nadu, where there is, yet again, a government versus governor situation brewing, especially with the ruling disposition, the DMK, not taking kindly to some of the comments made by Governor Ravi while he was addressing a gathering and making certain observations. Now, the tussle. The question is, who is taking the right stand between the two? The governor stoking a fresh row where he turned around and said that there was something not very genuine about the Sterlite protests. He alleged and then he indicated that he believed that the Sterlite protests were actually funded by vested interests to derail perhaps a story that was going in the interest of Bharat. Now, he also turned around and said that for many governments who should understand this, is that when the governor says that certain bills will be delayed, that is a polite way of saying that these bills are dead and they should not be considered and they should not be pressed with going forward, because perhaps the government of the day is not actually taking the right stand. But the larger question, ladies and gentlemen, is in this fight between the political party, the DMK, and the governor of the state of Tamil Nadu, Sri Ravi, who is actually taking the right stand? Who is actually trying to put the facts as they are and saying, let's try and take a pause and consider all angles and aspects. Let's try and understand where this controversy first erupted. The Tamil Nadu governor said the protest against the Sterlite copper plant in Thoothukudi, which led to its closure, was fully funded by foreign entities. The governor also said that if the governor keeps a resolution pending without assent or consent, it means a polite rejection. Listen to what he had to say.
It was a purely foreign funded entire activities which led to the protest, unfortunate police firing, and that cost innocent lives. That is a very sad part of it. But they wanted this Sterlite to be closed because that Sterlite produced 40% of our copper need. And you know how copper is important for electronic industry.
Copper, electronic industry, 40% of Bharat's needs. One should understand which foreign entity is being pointed at by the governor. Meanwhile, there's been strong criticism that's come forth from the DMK. The governor shouldn't think he's a great dictator. Violation of constitutional definition is happening from the governor's office. hope the governor retracts the comments. That's what the comment came from the Chief Minister, Thiru M.K. Stalin. Meanwhile, challenge the governor to speak in Thoothukudi is what the challenge came in from Udayanidhi Stalin. Hanimoriji said the Tamil Nadu governor is defaming people's struggle. Now, this immediately set off a political face-off between the BJP, which is fast emerging as the opposition in Tamil Nadu, or an opposition to reckon with in Tamil Nadu, and of course the DMK. The AIADMK under Edappadi Palaniswamy so far has remained guarded on this matter. Listen.
Governors are nothing but appointees who are rubber stamped and are supposed to abide to the will of the people. This governor, by not passing bills passed by the elected legislature, he is insulting the voices of 8 crore people who have elected this DMK government with a thumping majority.
We have been saying right from the day one that some anti-social elements and anti-national elements were involved. Even the AIADMK had been saying that. Even today they are saying that. Our question is why the DMK is getting so much of anxiety, and they are getting I don't understand why they should get so tensed about this Mr. Ravi's speech.
Well, I must admit that the AIADMK in the past has also said that there was some argy-bargy. But now the AIADMK has also come forth and criticized the Tamil Nadu governor. They have said the AIADMK leader KP Munuswamy told reporters that in Krishnagiri that action was taken against Sterlite based on the sentiments of the people. So once again, there is a certain guarded approach, because what about the local sentiment or the people's sentiment? But are facts facts? Who's been economical with the facts and who's playing up one against the other? Let's get into this face-off. Narayanan Tirupati of the BJP, Tamil Nadu BJP Vice President, is with us. We also have Manu Sundaram, the DMK spokesperson. My namaste and Jai Hind to both of you gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the right stand. Manu Sundaramji, let me ask you, you may disagree with the governor, but for your own party colleague on a public platform to call saying that governors are mere rubber stamps, is that not an insult? Can you hear me, Manu Sundaram? Manu Sundaram ji, can you hear me?
Sorry, Anand, I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Question?
Am I audible to you now? We'll just try and fix that connection. He's joining us via Zoom link. But Mr. Nar, can you hear me, Manu Sundaram ji?
I can hear you now. I
Yeah.
apologize. I
Okay.
didn't hear much of what you said. Could you please repeat?
No, my simple question was, we heard Dharanidharan ji there saying that a governor is nothing but a mere rubber stamp. Now, is that not an insult?
That's right.
Is that not an insult? So the
No, it is
DMK
not.
can say whatever they want towards the governor's office or a constitutionally appointed body or a person, but the governor should not explain their thoughts or keep his point of view.
So let's not get too carried away by words, because it's important to understand the context. And the words rubber stamp, shorthand, have all been used in various Supreme Court judgments. Now, what you and I and all of us can agree upon is that the governor holds a constitutional office. With that comes constitutional duties, constitutional proprieties. The proprieties are what they say, how they act, how they conduct themselves, so on and so forth. Constitutional duties are how they form part, an integral part of the executive setup. Now, the executive setup, as you know, works in sync with the legislative setup. Now, our problem is twofold, Anand, and I'll be very short. There are 14 bills passed by the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly. Some have been passed unanimously, meaning by not only the DMK and its allies, also the AIADMK as well as the BJP. Now, all these bills have been held by the governor. This is a constitutional illegality. Now, the impropriety is what he says about Sterlite, and I'll come straight to Sterlite because that was the focus of your opening comment. Now, there are 3 problems with that, Anand. First is, where does the Honorable Governor get his information from about these being foreign funded and so on? Second is, why has he not sent any particular report along these lines to the union government? As you know, the governor forms an integral link between the state and the union government, and he, in a sense, reports to the union home ministry. Thirdly, the Sterlite protests, Anand, as you very well may remember, took place in 2018. The two political parties who formed part of the ruling dispensation in 2018 were the AIADMK in the state and BJP in the center. If the governor's allegations are true, does it not reflect a poor intelligence setup by the then Union Home Ministry under BJP, as well as the local intelligence by the AIADMK, to allow foreign-funded or foreign-backed entities to run away with the nation's agenda? So this question really must be answered by the BJP.
Let us take it to the BJP, Manu Sundaramji. Let us take it to the BJP. I have a few questions which I would like to ask of the DMK beyond the realm of what has happened in the past. But since you've raised some very pertinent points, let the BJP answer that first. Yes, Narayanan Tirupatiji, it happened during when the AIDMK and the BJP were in power, or at that time. At that time, nobody called it a conspiracy. The governor is sitting on bills which have been unanimously passed in the assembly. So is the governor abiding by his constitutional role and responsibility?
Anand, that time, in fact, in your channel also, we have discussed, and I have very clearly said that there is a conspiracy, and vested interests, particularly anti-social elements, have definitely barged into this protest, and they are the reasons, they were the reasons. And we also said that, in fact, we have very strongly, we have condemned the killings also, the innocent people. So, number one. Number two is that, Anand, I would like to recollect, I think if you Google it, you will get it. On 24th February 2012, Mr. Manmohan Singh, the then Prime Minister of India, had very, very clearly stated that whoever protested in Kudankulam were taking funds from America and the Scandinavian nations. This is what Mr. Manmohan Singh said, and they are the reasons for the protest, and it was acknowledged and seconded by Mr. Karunanidhi on February 29, 2012, saying that yes, these Kudankulam protests are funded by Americans, and the AIDMK is supporting the protesters. This is what Mr. Karunanidhi and also Mr. Manmohan Singh said. Whatever Mr. R.N. Ravi said, the same words, these people are blocking the growth of the nation. This is what Mr. Manmohan Singh said. And now this DMK, which had accepted what Mr. Manmohan Singh said the other day, in 2012, they are trying to say that what Mr. Ravi says is unconstitutional. Mr. Ravi is trying to unnecessarily get into the politics and all those things. Now Mr. Stalin has to tell one thing. The same district, nearby district, whether he should accept that these Kudankulam protesters are anti-nationals or not. Because they have said, Mr. Karunanidhi had committed, he has acknowledged. Or the Tuticorin. If they are ruling, then all these people are anti-nationals. If they are in opposition, then they are.
My question is a larger question. My question is a larger question. If pending bills and some of these pending bills are unanimously passed, that means parties across party lines, Treasury, opposition, if they are unanimously passed, should the governor explain why he's sitting on them?
Anand, yes. See, regarding these bills, I strongly deny what Mr. Manu Sundaram said, because BJP has never supported these 14 bills, whatever it is there. And these, out of these 14 bills, the Chief Minister actually explained what are all the bills pending. At least 10 bills are pertaining to the universities, wherein they want to remove the governor as chancellor from all these universities and appoint their vice chancellors. This is the main reason behind all these things. Because they, at least in the last decades,
I have limited time. I have limited time. So
one second.
What I'm going to do is, let's break this into two aspects. One is the political fight aspect in terms of the bills. The other one is an interest which is a national interest, Manu Sundaramji, and that's where I want to shift the attention. See, what has happened is, Sterlite copper was actually contributing to 40% of India's copper needs. My question to you is, should such a company and should India, and it was coming from Tamil Nadu. So should the DMK not itself launch an investigation saying, was the entire protest motivated? Is there any truth to it at all? And if there is truth, then get to the bottom of it. Secondly, should India start producing and meet its own copper needs rather than depend on foreign entities again? Should there be a situation that should be created and an atmosphere that should be created? Is it not in everybody's larger interest? So, can we take this story forward is what I'm trying to ask you, and how can we do it?
Without a doubt, Anand, I take your point in one sense that India needs to be self-reliant, and it's not only limited to copper, but in all critical minerals, all emerging technologies, cyber technologies, and so on, right? And I don't think any of us can dispute that. In fact, it is the Prime Minister's own claim that he wants to promote Make in India. We, on our part, we want to promote Make in Tamil Nadu, as there is every other state government. Now, to answer your specific question on Sterlite, and I don't want to obfuscate like Mr. Narayanan did, talking about Kudangulam and other things, but on Sterlite, please understand, Anand, the matter is now pending before Supreme Court. What is pending before Supreme Court? In 2018, forget the protest. Let us leave the protest aside for one moment. The Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board denied permission to give it consent to operate. It's called consent to operate, consent to establish. The two permissions that are to be given by the Pollution Control Board in Tamil Nadu. Under which government? The state government, ADMK government. What happened thereafter, Anand? Please recollect, the matter was first argued before the High Court extensively and then taken to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court till date, Anand, not Manu, not DMK, not BJP, not ADMK, in spite of what BJP thinks about the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court has refused to overturn the decision of the Pollution Control Board of Tamil Nadu to deny permission. Now, this is an environmental issue that is between a state government authority, which had taken decision in 2018, backed by a cabinet decision then, and the the private company, and the matter is now before Supreme Court. Now, until the Supreme Court takes a call, we cannot actually decide whether a company, be it Sterlite or whatever other company, can operate. All right. So your public interest sentiment is well taken, but unfortunately, on this particular issue, please look.
I'm aware of this matter being. I'm aware of this matter being in front of the Honorable Supreme Court. But I'm also asking a larger question, that as the DMK and the BJP have a political fight, and there is a political fight going on, are we also not looking at a position where we can? I'm just asking you because you have the overwhelming mandate of the people in Tamil Nadu. I'm just parking it with you that is this not in the larger interest of everybody if a particular situation can be resolved? Because I'm looking at it from that point. As far as Narayan Tirupati ji is concerned, I want to understand, Mr. Narayan Tirupati, is the governor going to hold on all the bills? Or are there bills which he is sitting on which should be passed? That's another part. And secondly, sir, if he is saying that it was foreign funded, there were foreign entities behind, then should we not expose those foreign entities? Is it not the responsibility of the governor to also tell the state government of the day, let's get to the bottom of this and let's expose those people? Because if there is an expose that happens, then by default there will be an impact that will happen. The Supreme Court will also take cognizance of the same.
Anand, there are two issues. As I told you, all these bills pertaining to universities, because they want to appoint vice chancellors, because they want to make the chief minister.
Sir, that is a politics. That you can make a political argument there. And if the government wants, they can take the governor to the court or vice versa. I am asking purely. I am moving away. I am asking on Sterlite copper, 2018 to 2023. Nearly 5 years plus.
As far as
matter in court, what have we done to resolve this to ensure that we start producing copper in our country again?
Absolutely, yes. Definitely. In fact, even I have argued so much in that issue that definitely we need Sterlite copper to function. But unfortunately, it has gone to the court and the court has to decide. And it is there in the court. Whatever the court decides,
If the political will, collective political will is to find a solution and get the court to hear it and decide on it,
I don't think, Anand.
It will happen. If the collective political will is to ensure that people are saved, environment is saved and Sterlite continues to produce copper, that can also happen. Right now, I am requesting everybody to take the right stand in the interest of the country, rise above this political fight, because that will continue. At the end of the day, Tamil Nadu has to be the growth engine for Bharat. It's one of the important growth engines. So if this issue is resolved, it is going to contribute not just to Tamil Nadu, but eventually also to the political fortunes and of course the fortunes of the people who are going to be employed there. And of course, larger story. So I'm going to leave it there. I have limited time. I'm going to leave it there. Manu Sundaramji and Mr. Narayanan Tirupati. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Staying with Tamil Nadu, ladies and gentlemen, quickly bringing you up to speed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be in Tamil Nadu. And he'll be in Tamil Nadu over the weekend. On Saturday, he will inaugurate the newly integrated terminal building of the Chennai International Airport, which has been developed at an area of about 2,20,917 square meters. It has been developed at a cost of around 1,260 crore. The estimated cost was around 2,500 crore back in 2018. Now, the addition of this new integrated terminal building will increase the passenger serving capacity of the airport from 23 million passengers per annum to 30 million passengers per annum. So an additional 7 million passenger capacity being added. The new terminal is a striking reflection of course, Tamil culture, incorporating traditional features such as the kolam, sari, temples and other elements that highlight natural surroundings. The new terminal has many unique features and skylights is one of them. Skylights ensure energy savings and lower the utility bills, and they can increase eco-efficiency to brighten up rooms and make them more inviting and comfortable while also reducing reliance on artificial lighting. Around 24 skylights have been installed in the new integrated terminal building. And the new integrated terminal building has a 100% LED lighting feature, which is a major green initiative by the Airports Authority, and this is now going to be seen across all the new airports or the redone airports. The modernization of the airport has been undertaken in 2 phases with an overall cost of about 2,467 crore. The new integrated terminal building will have 140 check-in counters split among 7 check-in islands to further increase the aesthetic elements inside the terminal. Counters are being made with solid acrylic of vibrant shades, color shades. So looks spectacular, ladies and gentlemen. The inauguration will happen by the Prime Minister on Saturday. Moving on to the crackdown on fake news. Let's try and understand, amidst all the information and misinformation and thoughts, what the new rule actually means. Let's try and decode this. There is a war that's now being waged on fake news, and it's come collectively from within the bodies itself. Fact-checking body will monitor online control or content. That's the rule. The government-mandated body could be part or an extension of the PIB or a whole new body in itself. Will label fake and misleading info about government and government-related initiatives, policy, etc. Once it's been flagged fake, the intermediaries must bin the content altogether, remove any footprint of the same. Now, what will be the effect? The effect will be social media giants will have to make reasonable effort to junk fake info. Firms will lose immunity if content is not taken down. There will be no safe harbors on content by a third party. The risk is that there will be legal trouble for failure to take down content. Now, this has clearly split the debate. People are now saying 2 ways. One is talking about curbing press freedom, etc. The objection is that there is no judicial oversight, the right to appeal, all of that. So the objection is there is no judicial oversight or right to appeal. The government's counter is we are just addressing the danger of misinformation or fake news. The objection again says it's a draconian rule. It's against the laws of natural justice. The government is saying the move is fair and has been welcomed by intermediaries. Another objection is sweeping powers have been given to the PIB. The government's counter is we need a reliable government fact checker. It will result in censorship of press. The government is saying it's not an attempt to curb free speech, but it's an attempt to give free speech which is informative, not misinformative. So we are not curbing free speech, we are curbing the misuse of the free speech rights. So that's where it stands. There is still a fight, but the government is very clear. Now, what will be the contours of this body? We'll have to wait and watch. But there's another angle to this, ladies and gentlemen, and that is on online gaming. The government has banned betting games. Now, what the new rules say? The new rules define online game. The new rules are defining what is an online game. They define it as a game that is offered on the internet and is accessible by a user through a computer resource or an intermediary. The centre has issued these new rules. The gaming industry has to define its own parameters of what is permissible. Prohibit any game that involves betting and wagering. The IT Ministry has also notified a mandatory KYC verification of online gamers of games involving real money. Under the new rules, the Ministry of Information and Technology will also notify agencies to fact-check false and misleading information related to government business. Multiple SROs to entail a framework. The SRO